Yeah, what's good, family? So, first and foremost, God loves you, and I love you. So, what are you thankful for today, and why? Um, so, I'm sitting here, and I watched this video the other day, and it was talking about ideas on how to brainstorm your business, right? So, the first part of it being, besides once you get your name and all that stuff, um, what are you gonna sell? Have you ever thought about that? Like, we're literally in this time where it's as easy as turning on a camera and offering a service in some way, shape, or form, taking a picture, sharing a picture, making a post, to sharing a link or something, posting a link or something, to start a business, or just to plant a seed that might get you some money back. You know what I mean? Like, just with your phone. Um, there's all type of Nextdoor, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all these gig sites. You know what I mean? DoorDash, all these things. Like, but anyways, you can get on those things, but the question is, what are you gonna sell, right? And there's a lot of things like out there. To probably think about or get caught up in. But before you get caught up in those things, maybe you could narrow that list down and kind of cut through some of the mess if you had some focus. So I'm gonna run through. In the video I watched, it gave a 3P framework to think about of what to sell, but I added one more at the end. But I'm gonna run through just a simple framework just to think about that you can use to brainstorm. You know, Starting with yourself about what you could sell, right? You know what I mean? Because the reality of it is if you've done anything, or learned how to do something, or worked in a job and learned how to do something that, like with a computer, or how to connect this to this, a network, or more than likely, without you even knowing it, you have a business in your brain. And depending on how much you're actually willing to look at the resources that you have, you probably have more options, and more, again, resources, just value, to tap into than you realize. You know what I mean? A lot of us kind of like will get caught up in, for whatever reason, we want to get into business, where we need some money, like things is tight. Like, we get caught up in looking at like the thing, right? And sometimes we lose focus on what's actually available to us, right? So we're gonna start with ourselves. You know what I mean? So we're gonna use this 4P framework to brainstorm real quick what you're gonna sell. And this isn't gonna take a long video. This isn't gonna take long. It ain't gonna be a long video, and you don't gotta put a lot of time into this. If you can use this framework and get you about 20 ideas to move forward with, even if you get one that really sings to your heart, it's worth it, right? So the 4Ps, right? So I'm just gonna run through them really quick. Pain, profession, passion, and pursuit. All right. So pain, profession, passion, and pursuit. These are the 4Ps that we're gonna look at and kind of brainstorm through and think about what you could sell. You know what I mean? So my bad, I got caught up on the side because I was thinking, like, even in the place of like, this is both for a business, but even if you were to think about, like, one of the things to think about when you think about how could I go get some money, could I go do some sales? Like, we got all, affiliate marketing is really just sales, right? Like, sharing the link, talking about the product, putting the link, taking those people through the journey, right? You're doing all the steps, the lead nurturing, the converting, and damn near the delivering. You know what I'm saying? They just got to do the delivering, really. You know what I mean? But you're doing that. It's just sales. So if you could make a post about something that you like, or you can go through this little framework and just see, like, what could I talk about? What could I offer? What, do I know about, to kind of like have some depth in, then this will help you too, right? All right. So pain, profession, passion, and pursuit. So real quickly, pain, simple. What pains What personal pains have you solved, right? Think about that for yourself, or maybe within your workplace or whatever, right? But what have you solved for yourself? Have you lost weight? Have you learned how to put together, you know what I mean, a piece of furniture? Have you taken or changed the tire? What personal pains have you solved? Have you learned how to journal for your own mental health? Have you learned how to cook? What personal pains have you solved that you could tell somebody how, you could help somebody learn how to do, that you could walk somebody through, that you could do for somebody, you know what I mean? That you could remove that pain from their lives, you know what I mean? Pain is, there's that, I just watched the movie, man. I can't remember what it's called, but it's literally about when they're selling, it's like the beginning of like oxycodone and all this stuff getting sold, and it's the reps, you know what I mean? Like they're going and getting all the doctors to write the script, and they, you know, the whole thing is, how can we be the gateway between people and their pain, like taking their pain from them, you know what I mean? Like, how can we ease that? Like, that was the thing, you know what I mean? They literally took away pain, and that's how they became such a huge addicting, just that's how they did it. They took away pain. All that we're ever doing with any of our products is solving pain and inconvenience, you know what I mean? That's all. Anything we buy is to solve some type of pain, to appease some type of pain, to stop us or prevent some type of pain, to give us some type of pleasure because we're in pain. That's I didn't even mean to get all caught up on pain like this, but this is real. The more that you can solve somebody, I remember seeing that sock thing where you could put it on the holder and you slid your foot in it. And all I remember thinking was like, man, that is something that looks wild to me, but to somebody who doesn't want to bend down or can't, or just is like, that'll make my life that much faster, that thing is going to sell. And I was like, man, I said, man, if you figure out how to help people be lazier or more efficient, you know what I mean? Or experience less pain, you know what I mean? You'll make money, you know what I mean? So, pain. Profession. What have you learned in your work life that you can teach or consult on? Have you learned how to train servers? You could consult in culture or training, you know what I mean? Have you learned how to put together Excel books with formulas and all of that type of stuff? You know what I mean? Excel is one of those things that when I go through it, I Google my way through it. You know what I mean? Like I look it up step by step. So can you teach me can you save me some time? You know what I mean? Like, what have you learned in your professional life? Have you learned conflict management? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you learned in your professional life? So we got pain and we got profession. What have you learned in your professional life that you could teach somebody, that you can consult on, that you could look at and say, I've seen this go well in this way. I can recognize this is where it might get off course, or this is where things might get out of hand, or if we really need to be showing up like this, if we want this to be the outcome that we want. Like, what are some things that you've seen in a work and professional environment that you can consult on or teach? Okay. Passion. What could you talk about all day? You know what I mean? What would you do for people for free? You know what I mean? What do you love? What excites you? What gets you upset? What makes you cry? What makes your blood boil when you hear it? Like, we're still talking about pain, you know what I'm saying? But our passions are based in that. They're based in the things that make us feel good, that energizes because we want more of them, or that energizes, that brings something out of us because we know that this thing needs to go. You know what I'm saying? Passion. You know what I mean? But what's your passion? What are you passionate about? Is it nutrition? Is it war? Is it gun safety? What is it? You know what I mean? Is it abortion? Is it politics? Is it race? What is it? You know what I mean? What is your passion? You know what I'm saying? So we went through the things that are close to us, right? Our pain, our profession, you know what I'm saying, our passions, the things that, the pain that we can remove, that we solved, you know what I'm saying, the professional just value that we picked up along the way, just from all the different things we worked on, or systems we've learned, or positions we've been in. Our passion, what energizes us, what do we want to be a part of, or what do we feel like needs to go, you know what I'm saying? And one more, that final P, pursuit. What are you curious about? You know what I'm saying? What things have you seen out there that you've been like, oh, that looks interesting, like, you know what I mean, I'm interested in that. I don't know much, but you know what I mean, I could see myself spending some time getting up in that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, what areas have you thought about developing from based on all these other things? Your pain, your profession, your passion. Like, what can you build towards? You know what I'm saying? What's the next step? You know what I mean? In what you already have from where you're at. Where would you like to go? Where would you like to take things? Because as we look at all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Our curiosity to learn is not isolated. You know what I'm saying? So we could still be looking for things to sell based off our pursuits. You know what I'm saying? What are we leaning towards? What do we want to have in our lives? What are we researching to figure out about a decision to make? You know what I mean? So, family, and the things when we go over this, the whole point of this was to go through this 3P framework, to think about just some ideas of things that we could, you know, sell or offer or talk about, or you know what I mean, bring some focus to. Oh, excuse me. Because maybe the thing you want to sell isn't a thing that's monetary. Maybe it's a thing that you're passionate about. You know what I mean? Maybe it's an idea or a cause or a focus or cultural deficiency or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's your message. Maybe it's your whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like all of us have something that we want to be putting out there in the world. And that if we're not putting out or taking steps in that way or developing in some type of way, or it's happening and it's not going in a way that's successful, and not even that it's not going well, but we don't even see like the benefit of what we're doing or seeing progress in it, family, those things draw us back. You know what I mean? Those things hurt. You know what I mean? Like, just on a physical, physiological, spiritual level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you know, all of us have I feel like all of us have a call in us to be developing, to be creating something, to be putting something out into the world. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all of us have that in us, in some type of way. Maybe it's not business. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a mindset. Maybe it's just your point of view. Maybe it's just the fact that you're here. You know what I mean? Maybe it's an article or a book or a business or your food or your music, or you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's that you want to set an example. Like, all of us have something that we want to be putting out into the world, or that we're putting out into the world, and the way that that's going matters to us. You know what I'm saying? One of the places where we're always trying to, whether or not we're wherever we're at on the path of it, our bread matters. You know what I'm saying? Our money matters. You know what I mean? And I think that we are in a time when, and I feel like especially in America, it's never been easier to start a business. We're blessed to be able to just get online and start a business in this country. All the issues we got and everything, and race and all the dumb shit with elections and everything else aside, yeah, we're we're lucky to be able to just literally just go online and do that. I know for a fact that there's countries that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That the process is more, that the requirements on yourself, on your money, on your records, on even if you're even able to make the decision, on if you gotta be a certain set. I know that there's places where you can't do that. And you know what I'm saying? Not saying America's perfect. We got our things, boy. we're in some dark times in this joint. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that we can't do nothing about it, but we got to do something about it if we're gonna do something about it. You got to say something. If you're not saying something, I promise you feel it. In some way, shape, or form. You can't just be a passive observer of life. I think that. And at the same time, we always got to be aware of what we're putting out there. You know what I'm saying? As we put stuff out there and take action. So, you know what I mean? When we think about these things, like, you know, maybe as I go through this, and this is going on longer than I meant, but, you know, roll with me. You know, if as you look at this, like, yeah, this is brainstorming. Like, what do you sell? Like, do you got a bit? But also, if you have a business, like, have you ever thought about like productizing a piece of your service, or you know what I'm saying, or a piece of your, you know what I mean, productizing your service, like. But my point is in this, you know what I'm saying, to say that, don't mind me, is sometimes when whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying, you got to brainstorm how you want it to go or what you could be doing so that you can look and be like, man, all right, boom, I could be putting all these things into what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm getting the results that I'm getting, I got all these ideas of all this input that I could be putting in, that all these pains that could be there, all these things, all this. I got all these ideas of what I could be putting into my business, my messaging, my words, my mindset, my approach, the way that I make calls, the way that I approach people, you know what I'm saying? And family, the beautiful thing about this, man, is when you think about it, and if you think about it, this isn't just something that you can use to think about your business. You can look at your life a way as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at your life in a way to, all right, boom, how can I brainstorm and think about the activities that bring pain in this relationship, in whatever relationship, some pain, some type of discomfort, some type of stress, some type of conflict. Your relationship with money, fitness, yourself, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your parents, the dogs, the cleanliness of your house, whatever. What relationship, what pain is there? What pain could be there? Where could things go if I didn't want it to, you know what I'm saying? To go in that way. What have I seen that worked professionally? What am I, how can I, you can break all of these things down, family. So the benefit as you go through this, family, as we figure out how to talk to people and how to sell, is we're learning people, we're learning ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't have to be something like just the framework and the way that you approach thinking, family. When you go through this type of stuff, it can, especially if you let yourself see the connections on just the ways to think about, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing, the effect that you're having, you know what I mean, the effect that you want to have, the things that matter to you, the things that you're interested in, the things that you've seen and that you know, the things that hurt. Like, if you look at those things and you look at and you figure out how to look through that lens just in life, you could use the 4 P's to look at at anything, to as I sit here and run my mouth and think about it, like, you know what I'm saying? Just to acknowledge just like where I'm at and what I want and what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Got a little off topic there, family, talking about daggone messaging on what you can sell, family. But I think that this wasn't where I was going with this video, but there's a saying, I'm forgetting who it is right now, that said always, that's like, you're either selling or you're being sold to. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the time. You're always either being sold or you're doing the selling. You know what I mean? I'm probably messing that up. I'm definitely messing that up. But it's something like that, right? And the reality of it is, right, is like, I heard this definition of sales the other day that will kind of hopefully bring that into into view. So it says sales is empowering people to make decisions they already desired to make before they met you. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you have your product, your view, the thing. I don't need to go into all that. They talk about what, like, you know what I mean, when God calls you, when you hear the voice of the Holy Spirit, it's not calling to something that God wasn't already in. Like the desire and the need was already in you. You just hadn't heard it yet. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say faith comes by hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like it calls to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear it, it calls to you. You can hear something for the first time and it calls to you and you have no knowledge of it. So it's just something that you needed and something that was right for you, and it, you know, no knowledge of it. Like you didn't have the awareness. You might not have been thinking about it. You might have been ignoring it. You might have been pretending or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Deflecting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Minimizing. But it's not front of mind. You know what I mean? But when you hear it, it calls to you, and it calls to something that was already there. You know what I mean? There's a power that and a responsibility when it comes to selling and sales and talking and relationship and communication and your words and pricing and business, that's what you're doing. And you know, there's you know, power in your words, and they will motivate and spark decision and emotion, and have impact that will go beyond the moment that you're in. You know what I'm saying? And also, they'll have the same impact on you. Not the same, but an impact on you. You know what I mean? And sometimes, even when you're agreeing with the things you're doing in the moment, your soul and your life down the line don't actually agree with it, or it isn't helping and leading towards the outcome that you want down the line. You know what I mean? So we readjust and we analyze and we take accountability and we brainstorm and we take the time. We invest in the laying the groundwork and building the foundation, going deep, at least for a few minutes, 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying? On the things that matter, right? And all of it counts, and all of it is a building block, and all of it is us showing us that we mean what we say about what we want, right? But the power and the responsibility in your words, and then going through these and solving people's pain and all these things is the responsibility to do it in a way that, and the reward that if you do it in a way that serves them and that you feel good about, that you feel well compensated for your time, and that they feel well compensated for their financial investment and they agree with it, they'll continue to do business with you. You know what I'm saying? And if you approach it with that mindset, then when you look at the what it takes to get there, going through these things, you know, saying, you know, working on your pitch over and over, knocking on doors and getting told no, you know what I mean? You know, recognizing that, again, it's gonna land with the person that was looking for it, or that was ready to hear it, and that call was already in them, and it's gonna miss the ones that it will. But I did a job the other day for a lady that I gave a card to 2 years ago running my dog. You know what I'm saying? First we did the power washing, we did her steps, and then we came back and we did the mulch and the side, and then did the neighbor's house mulch, and potentially may do the side from a card that I gave a lady 2 years ago when I was running my dogs. So sometimes it's not that it's not a yes, it's just now is not the time. You know what I mean? But if you plant those seeds, you know what I'm saying? I think as long as you keep putting them jumps out there, man, something's gonna bloom. You know what I mean? And you can do this throughout your as you grow and scale and get into business, and think about ideas or side hustles or affiliate programs or brainstorm Airbnbs or think about services, or you know what I mean. You can do that. You could do that whenever. You know what I'm saying? I ran my mouth all this time, but you could think about this. You could make this list and come up with 20 ideas and just start doing some research and have something right now to take action on, and raise your hand and start planting seeds to get some money. You know what I mean? So yeah, family. I hope that all that rambling served you in some type of way. Again, family, the 4 P's of just thinking about brainstorming what you could sell is pain. What personal pain have you solved? Can you solve for another person? Have you helped somebody lose weight? Have you learned a journaling process, a breathing process, you know what I mean, a way to study? What pain have you solved? Profession, what skills have you learned in your work life that you can teach or consult on? What things can you look into and recognize and set up systems or processes, or learn how to, or you know how to see when they're off course, or you know how to analyze, your profession. So we got pain, profession. Again, third one is passion. What could you talk about all day for free? You know what I mean? What change excites you or infuriates you, and you feel like you need to do something about it, that it needs to be stopped or addressed? What are your passions? And then that fourth one is pursuit. What are you curious about? What are you learning? Where are you trying to grow? Where are you thinking about? What things have you seen that you're interested in? What do you want to move towards? Those 4 P's, family. You can use those 4 P's to brainstorm your ideas on just, what could you sell? How could you start showing up online, in person, wherever, you know what I mean? Differently, or for the first time, or in a more convicted way, as you just sow seeds of opportunity in your life, family, to just try to get some money and provide for your family, and be a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And have your own, and like I said, family, it's we're in this time where it has never been easier, and it's also never been more difficult, because we're able to be distracted and pulled in all these different ways, and all this, and see all the people who are more successful or doing it first, or they took our idea. And there's all these ways that we can think about why it can't happen and why it won't work with family. There's all these ways that opportunities and resources and avenues and platforms and just opportunity out there. I probably said that, to make something happen. In Genesis, man, God put gold into the land, and it was good, man. He provided for us, and that his blessing and provision for us is in the hands of the people. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, family, that means that their blessings, the people's blessings, are in our hands. You know what I'm saying? When you look at business and you look at sales in a way that you're just your goal, if you're looking at the things that brought you pain and that you've learned, that you have, you know what I'm saying, that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, you're going to be talking to people, like you're going to care about the things that you're selling. You're going to care about the people that you're selling it to. So not only will that bless you, but you'll be blessing them, family. So I think that it is and can be thought of as that deep when it comes to business in some type of way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Even if it's just a link, family. Maybe you're the only way that person that gets that cream that you put on your shoulder that solves all the arthritis problems, issues, is that they happen to be your friend on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that is the only way that they end up getting that thing. And if that's the case, family, then they're waiting for you to offer it to them. You know what I'm saying? And doing that, selling, if you look at sales that way, doing that is you blessing them. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it like that, and if that's the way that, you know what I mean, like you recognize, like, I need to be doing these things and I want to be putting myself out here, or it's uncomfortable. Family, it's worth it to be uncomfortable, to bless God's people and to bless the people that you love, or to bless somebody. You know what I mean? Even if it's just a smile, it's worth it to go, I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to smile, and it makes them smile, and it makes their day. It's always worth it. You know what I'm saying? And I lost my train of thought. I got excited about how it feels. But family, it's always worth it. It's always energizing. And there's a saying that goes, all life likes to reward, loves to reward its benefactor, which means that, family, you know, so when you talk about the law of attraction and all this other stuff, family, life wants to reward and draws towards you the things that you put out there. You put things out there through your thoughts and your feelings, absolutely, and all of that is, well, okay, cool. But your actions and your words is what is going to attract to you what you want, but what you get. Your actions and your words, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it like with this mindset of sales as I'm looking at, my point is to bless and provide for myself, for my family, for the people that I'm going to serve. I'm going to serve and sell things that I believe in, that aren't hurting people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to be a daggone activist, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, be aware of what you're doing. You know what I mean? Don't be out. You got your own compass. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna say anything. You sell things, be aware of what you're doing, and be fine with the decision that you're making or whatever you're selling. How about that? But be open-eyed about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so I want to be clear. I ain't mean that. I hope that don't come off in any type of judgmental way. I feel like, man, when I talk about that stuff, man, I feel like when it comes to, like, I got a big issue with, like, prescription drugs, because it's often just a skip in between, and the easier route is in teaching a person how to respond and regulate, and adjust and change, and grow and live with the process. You know what I mean? And I think that in the place of, if they can't get the medicine, it leaves them crippled. You know what I mean? I know, and you know, I'm not telling anybody not to do anything, and I know that it helps people, but actual like systems and movement have been shown literally by the numbers to be more effective for like mental health stuff and stuff like that than medicine, right? And I feel like if you're not also incorporating some type of tools with the medication that move somebody towards confidence and compassion and capability, and security and belonging, then it is damaging, is how I feel. We all over with the it's all good, family. Everything is everything. So that's what I mean, I guess, when I'm saying about be aware about what it is you're selling. You know what I mean? You saw what happened with that oxycodone stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like how that whole thing jumped off, and the junkies and all that stuff. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Excuse me. But what I mean is like it crippled people in order to solve a pain and a problem. You know what I'm saying? And changed and ruined people's lives. You know what I mean? And everybody's a human being, but they went into those things with their eyes closed or trusting or just want. And a lot of people have developed addictions and lost their lives and their families because of it, doing something that they thought was good for them, that they were sold. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a responsibility in that. You know what I mean? That I feel like sometimes is against us as we try to do business, but by people, but also in our own minds, like not wanting to be seen that way, or haven't seen people that way that were salesmen or sales, and then we go into business, and how do we not see ourselves that way? When did we decide, just because now we're doing it, that we don't still see people who do business or make sales as this or that? You know what I'm saying? The mindset that comes with selling and doing business and the responsibility and all those things, like it's a swirling kind of oh man, I don't even know how to again, those seeds have been planted, right, and those roots have been grown. So all of those things are there. They're always there, right? We can address them, and we can unwind them, and we can investigate them, and we can put eyes on them. But family, they're there, whether they're useful or not. They're there. And everything is everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think that like a lot of times it's easy, I guess, like even as I talk about this, like as I was talking about it, like just wanting to talk about 4 P's to use to brainstorm what you can sell. Now I'm talking about morality and all this other stuff, but that's a part of sales, and that's a part of what you gotta contend with and what you wrestle with as you move into business, and even just seeing and recognizing that literally getting a few extra dollars a day is as easy as just going, I'm going to put this link on this page and just put it up and see what happens. But then going, oh, well, is it actually going to work for me? Or am I not just one of those little punk ass kids that da-da-da-da-da? Like, getting past that mindset, or am I doing things that I trust? Or is this BS? Or is it like, you know what I mean, some janky thing from China, or nothing against China. I know they got a lot of good stuff, but I've gotten some janky things from China. You know what I'm saying? How do I feel about going into business or being in business as I go into business? How do I feel about success and money and all this other stuff? Like, am I thinking about, you know what I mean? Like, do I think that I'm actually the type of person that this type of stuff works for? That's the tough part about business. Having no stars is the tough part. Doing the things is the easy part. That's the part that's actually going to produce business. That's the part that's actually going to produce money or sales or connection or spreading your idea or influence or leadership or understanding. That's the part that's going to do that, is actually doing it. Getting past and dealing with and brainstorming and getting clear and addressing and readjusting and reconnecting to, or even just recognizing your lack of awareness of a important issue or detail up until this moment, and then taking responsibility and corrective action and aligned action and intentional action on that is the tough part. You know what I'm saying? And to tie it all in, if you can figure out how to teach those things, sell those things, market those things, address those things, help guide somebody through those things on either side. Again, in the roots or the fruit, you've got a business in your brain as we sit. So yeah, family, I'm gonna wrap it there. I'd love to hear what your thoughts were. If you know what ideas you had, or any adjustments that you're thinking about making, or things you're thinking about looking up, or if you want help with any of those things, family, leave all that down in the comments, family. If you want to reach out, send me a message, just comment, yo, I need some help on this, or you know what I mean, what about, what are you thinking about, what are you curious about, how can I help? So, leave a message, send an email, send a text, holler at me, you know what I mean? And if you want some help on anything, some more one-on-one help, if you reach out, I'll send you a link, we can set up a call, kind of talking to see what might be getting in the way and what quick change you could make, or adjustment or awareness to look at. Gonna figure that out by the end of that call, man. Just take 15 minutes. Won't take too long, family. We'll just listen and talk and brainstorm and just see what we might see. And after we talk about that, family, if it seems like maybe we should work together on that question or that idea or that goal or that sticking point or frustration or limiting belief that's stopping you from taking a chance, then we can have a conversation about what that looks like as well, family. And if not, either way, I hope that you got something from this, and that in some type of way it sparked a thought or an idea that blesses you, blesses your family, blesses your life, blesses your business, blesses your dreams, your relationships in some type of way, family. I hope that if it only speaks to one person whenever you hear this, I love you, and God loves you. All right, y'all.